Hello, Dylan here, and I want to talk about the Attack on Titan final season, the fourth and final season, and about, not my thoughts about it, but more about questions I would have and possibly could answer. Now, the first one is probably a big one. Well, two of these are both of these are gonna be like big questions. But the main one for me is, will the manga be finished in time for it to be well animated? And my answer to that is most likely yes. The manga will probably be finished by the time the fourth season starts or by the time the first core will end, because I think it said it was fall 2020. So that is a huge chunk of time to let the manga end. And one that could be like 12 to 13, 10 to 13 10 to 13 weeks ish for that first course. So, and if it's happening starting in the fall, then there's a good chance it will be able to be finished by then, because because I can tell you right now the manga is almost done, and it is kind of wrapping up. I shouldn't say wrap. It, even though it does only come out like once a month, but in those chapters there's like a lot that happens. It's like a 40 to 50 page chapter, so a lot can happen in that span of 40 to 50 pages. Okay, and now the next thing is how many episodes would this final season be? And of course, this is either going to be, because it never said how many cores it would have, how many, technically that's like the anime seasons, how many cores it would have. Each core being around like 10 to, like I said, 10 to 13 weeks ish. And how many episodes? There's a lot of information with ending it, with the end of it, and it's gonna be, I'm going to assume 25 to 75 episodes. I know that's a big range, but 25 is like one season. It's like the first season. But then you go to 50, and that's kind of like the SAO season 3 right now, because it's split into two cores of 24 episodes. I don't know if the second core of that will be 4 cores. It was split into 4 cores in 2 different parts. But with this final season, I don't know if it's going to take that kind of route where it might take a break after 24 or 25 episodes, kind of like how season 3 did with one core, and where it had 2 cores but one kind of did like a break in between. It might do that if the manga isn't finished by then. The reason I would say up to 75 is because, again, it's a lot of information but there's a lot that does happen between what happened at end of season 3 and what will be continuing on. And also, and this last part I want to talk about, actually 2 parts. I want to talk about just a small summary without really spoiling anything about what to expect. And it's probably what a lot of people are expecting. It's the Eldian versus Marley. That's essentially what these last arcs are basically about. It's Marley versus Eldian. I will tell you that there are other countries that do appear. That's all I'm going to say for that. But I do say there is a Game of Thrones season 8 like thing that does happen, that people slightly, including me, got a little upset about, and that happened in some of the more recent chapters. Of course, I'm not going to say who or what happened, but I will tell you that there is like a Game of Thrones Daenerys kind of thing that happened. Anyway, this last thing I want to talk about is not season 4, but season 3, the end of season 3. And that is with the basement. and how the anime explained it a hell of a lot better than the manga did. Because whenever, and the reason I think it did better explaining is because it was like weekly episodes versus say waiting a month for a new chapter, and whenever that chapter came that explained everything, it was like a month. It was like a month apart, so people can forget things in a month. So when the new chapter came up, and then just randomly it was telling about Grisher's story. Some people got pretty confused, were like, because they didn't remember exactly what happened some people don't remember exactly what happened in the last chapter. But with the anime, it was a week long where it was still in their heads of what happened. So it wasn't necessary because they explained it basically the exact same way. Just it was in a shorter time span. And that's probably what helped with the anime explanation versus the manga explanation. For people who are like keeping up with the manga, if you're reading the manga just like now, like catching up with the manga, then it probably wouldn't be any problem because you'd just be able to go from one chapter to the next for that moment. And that's all. That's all I really want to talk about this final season. I'm really excited. I'm both happy and sad about it ending. Happy because the manga's been kind of drudging along. And I'm glad it is finally ending so we can get an ending. But it is somewhat sad because it is a good anime and manga. Before I just drudge along, I'll just end the video here. If you enjoyed this video, why not considering giving it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're new subscribe if you're new for some more anime videos. I'll hope to see you in my next video. Bye.